In service marketing, what typically happens is there is no product, you cannot touch it, see it, and experience it. Like there's nothing physical there. So, social influencers for my market are people who have actually used my services and who have been satisfied with the experience. So these are people. This is again typically what I'm talking about is offline. I mean, again, it has a delivery attached to it. Because if the delivery happens, if the commitment is, if I keep my word, I do a good job, then it is talked about. Now, if you really look at who are these people are agency heads, the senior people in the ad agencies. These are people who are in part-time jobs. These are also my colleagues, could be my bosses, could be my subordinates, juniors. There are also my students where I am into training. All these people together happen to be what really forms this social influence here. Again, I would like to bring this up that this again word of mouth happening here. The only momentum that has happened is because of the social media, and this is exactly what is accelerating the entire process. One very good thing that I can really actively work on in identifying these social influencers is identify those verticals which happen to be strong in my market. Let's say it's an engineering sector, IT, retail and real estate. And then identify those people who are strong there, who have used my services. And then see how I can influence them to further influence the crowd. So in a way, I think I am the primary social influencer here, which then further gets accelerated. So that's how it is in a service.
Very nicely put answer. Questions for Sandeep. Let's take a real life example. You are a social influencer for your domain. What points would you consider while participating or initiating conversations online for a particular brand?
So first thing, like taking on from what she left, I think in communication one of the most important aspects that we need to look at is the objective. Okay. So first, what is the whole objective of? So when I came online on Facebook or Twitter or Orkut in old days, was what is the objective? And all that I cared about that time was, I just want to be on the latest thing in town. Once we started getting used to it, and once we were okay, so there were scraps happening, and there were, I don't know how many remember 2006 or it was big, and then I said, okay, this is a new medium and this is about communication. Unless we jump in, we will not understand. So then we realized, so influencer actually is a very new term. I mean, 2-3 years ago, there was nobody talking about influencing. Okay? And only recently, I think about 2 years ago, we realized, oh shit, we are actually competing with Times of India. And I now am the new editor of Times of India. And hence, I am becoming an influencer. Okay? And that's when we said that if I am an influencer, I need to have followers, I need to have readers, I need to have subscribers. Right? And that's when we took notice and we said, so what do we want to influence? Who do we want to influence? And it was a big discussion because I actually wrote it on a whiteboard saying, at the top is entrepreneurship. And if you look at it, it's a pyramid. So at the top is entrepreneurship. Can I be an influencer of entrepreneurship? And I said, no boss, I'm too young, too naive, not the public figure, etc. So I said, okay, let me just leave entrepreneurship. Can I look at startups? I said, yeah, that is a good thing, doing some activities in startups. So I said, okay, startup is doable. I said, okay, let's look at my industry. And I said, okay, I'm in healthcare sector. So healthcare is a broad sector, there's pharma, insurance, this, that and the other. I said, no, healthcare again is too big beyond me. Can I look at diagnostics, which is a much smaller, it's a very, very small community. I said, diagnostics is something that I can definitely track, and I actually went on to Facebook and I searched for diagnostics, and I found that yeah, there are some people, and I would like to be an influencer to these people, and there are a lot of students who are following me, so I would want to be an influencer. And then I said, but hold on, I mean, diagnostics is not the space I am in. I'm in something called very, very small, it's genetics. Okay, and I definitely want to be a big influencer in this space. So anybody searching for genetics globally, should be influenced by me. And I went right up to 23andMe, which is a Google-funded company, and who's now Sergey's wife. They were dating and then they got married later. We follow each other. We retweet each other's. 23andMe is big. It's the largest genetics company globally. So it was a big decision. I actually drew it out, and then I said, so startup genetics. Okay, if possible, if I have some time left, diagnostics. If I still have some time left, I'll go up and talk about healthcare and biotech. So it's a very conscious decision, and we've been able to kind of spend about an hour a day on it, and try and be an influencer. So.
I have a question. Does that mean that you consciously took this, from what you said, I understand that you're telling me I am going to be influencer in this particular field.
Absolutely. It happened about 2 years ago.
Okay.
When we realized that we are going to be in media. See, I've been a journalist earlier, and I had readers and I had subscribers, and I used to write for them. Okay, and when I realized that, there was a time when I used to write to 25,000 people. Okay, and I realized that, print is going to be dead. And that's when I said I'm going to become the editor of my own magazine. And my magazine looks 60% Facebook, 15% Twitter, 30% LinkedIn, and the Quoras and the other.
Yeah, that's right.
So
my question
then
was
I said, so if this is what the